be careful, but still, like all my initial investment is the point. It's still in Coinbase. The 4,000 is like just profit now. Like it's just play money.
How much would you
You
take out
kept
if?
what you initially invested in those coins?
Yeah, it's still in there. So that's cool. I just have an extra 4,000 just sitting there just because I was selling.
How much would you guys
I
take out of a? Our initial investment was 1,500, and now it's at 10K.
To take out 1,500.
Now you're making me feel like to take out more from what you were saying a second
No,
ago.
no, take out 1,500, and then you're just letting your profits rise, and then you still have your initial investment, so you lose no money.
True.
So even if you lose all that 10K, you still technically didn't lose anything.
True.
And if you're scared that it's gonna keep rising if you sell, then just take out your initial investment and leave your 10K in there so it can rise. Because the XRP is gonna rise. Let's be honest.
Yeah, yeah.
But I think taking out your initial investment at least is smart.
All right, true.
And it's only 1,500. It's not like it's gonna take a shitload of XRP away from you.
I wish I could take out more and then just put it back in at a small dip or something.
You could. I mean, there's different strategies to trading. That's just one strategy. You can. I'm doing the one you're thinking about. I'm doing the one where I'm selling at the highs and I'm trying to buy the pullbacks, but I keep rising. So I don't know. It's up to you.
Yeah, I'm gonna make something like that happen pretty soon.
So, oh, I just realized I didn't journal any of my demo trades.
Not even on your book, your notebook.
No.
I journal everything. I mean, I did journal everything this week. It was an interesting week for going live.
How do you like it? How's you? How are you feeling?
I feel good, and I hope this isn't like some emotional feeling where I'm like, I don't know, or maybe it's just the times right. I put in a year already of day trading, so I feel good.
What do you consider your A plus setup this week?
The outliers that are in any of my zones.
But how does the setup? It's not just the outlier. Like how does it play out?
Uh, well, first you see the outlier, and then I definitely wait for it to test the outlier again. I mean, I guess I don't know exactly how to respond to that if I'm doing it the right way, but yeah, just wait for the outlier to get retested, and then a little bit of context, like if it's struggling to go past the outlier, which in the opposite way of my direction, then I've been looking at that, or I'm like, I noticed on my trades, I'm like, damn, it's at my outlier, and it's like struggling to go past it.
Yeah, that's basically the essence of my setup. Um, those those trades that you did lose on, were they the setup or were they not the setup?
They weren't. It was well, I mean, I thought it was, but I mean, if I'm trying to be honest with myself, I think maybe it wasn't, but it went past my zone, but it didn't go past the next zone that I had, and and I guess my outlier didn't come up in my zone. It came in between the two zones that I had, like the two demand zones that I had. It came in between them, and you took a trade, but you took the opposite. You took a short at my demand zone, and then I don't know if I had like FOMO, thinking, oh, maybe I'm like missing, but I didn't take a short. I took a long, but it didn't end up playing out, and I only had one
Yeah, I had
loss.
that demand zone too. I did realize last week, Gabriel, remember how I said I was marking every time a A plus setup appeared for each day?
Yeah.
And there was like one day, I think. There was one day that a setup didn't appear, which was on the 7th. And then the 8th, the 10th, 9th, we didn't trade. Was that a holiday or something? Oh yeah, um this week every day there was a setup. Although one of the days was like towards the end of my trading time, so I couldn't even take it because I was already walking away. But every day there was a setup.
Well, you're gonna have to
So
point them out
that's
to me because apparently I didn't see any of them.
what was the first day? 13th?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I didn't take anything that day.
I
I
did
took
take
0
two.
trades, but there was a setup at 2 hour supply. 58.39, 58.48.
Yeah, I had the 58.39, but that was my first day live. I don't know. It was my first day on Ninja Trader, but I was on demo.
Where the fuck am I?
You guys mentioned it was a big, heavy news week, but only one day I saw the news react in a way where I saw like a push.
I think it was CPI.
Oh yeah.
I think CPI started the whole rally, didn't it?
Fuck. Why does it do that shit? I didn't
Damn, my
hear
language.
anything. My
My
AirPods
la-
connected for some reason.
Mhm.
Uh,
I hate how I accidentally hit the wrong button yesterday on one of my trades.
Dude, I've done this where I've hovered the mouse around the buy button, like waiting for price to get to my entry zone, and I accidentally press it before it gets to my entry zone. So I get a shittier feel. My stop needs to be like adjusted and stops me out anyways. So
No, but it's exciting now, like trading live. And dude, my hands have been sweating. Edith was like sitting behind me because we moved into the same room for like our office stuff, our computers, and she was just looking at me, and I was like, she could see that I was like tensed up.
having people watch you, I think could fuck with you. So just be careful with that.
I was just like, get the fuck out.
Can you see my chart? Ah,
Yeah.
fuck, why is it doing shit? That's the wrong chart. Oh my gosh.
This guy.
What?
I can't find. Oh, there it is. I couldn't find my chart on sharing my screen. Can you see this one?
Yeah. All right, got it.
This trade was the fail to hold above yesterday's low. For context, what was it? Oh, that was for the next day. Fuck, I need to start screenshotting my chart before the day starts so I could review the context. I don't know what was happening here in pre-market, but it consolidated for a bit here. But I did my 58.39 2 hour supply was my key supply. So just off it being a super key level, I was looking for a opportunity to short. Um, we bounced off a key 2 hour demand too though in the opening, and then shot up to that 2 hour supply, but it still played out nicely back down two times actually. But I'll speed this up.
Also, notice how many retries you get. 'Cause, I missed it at first, the short, and then it went back up, but I didn't take it again, and then went back up again, and then it went back down, and then retested it like two more times.
But I would be careful with those second retests.
Yeah, I know. I mean, if
Just
there's an outlier, I'm just saying. Like,
lower probability.
yeah.
When it comes to charting, I don't know if this is something that's real, but I notice when I chart and I still chart like the multiple zones that I'll find within the same zone. Is that, do you guys end up, if you chart all those lines? Because I still end up charting like I find a 4 hour, but if I find like a 2 hour and then like I find like a 15 minute in there, I'll still chart them. And to me, that'll be my main pre-market plan. If I can see something that had multiple zones in it, do you guys do that?
No,
No.
I go by the retest when I extend the line. The
Oh,
more
that too.
zones
Yeah.
don't mean any. The more zones,
I'm more focused on context.
Yeah, that too. I don't make that my main plan, but it's more like also like the retest from like the previous days. Like I'm working on understanding, building the context, and so then I'll be like, this is they're like to me, it's just more like there's a lot going on in this zone for it to not be the zone.
I do remember Carmine in like one of the first videos I had watched of his, he would say that like if you have a 4 hour zone and then in the 2 hour there's also a supply and then in the lower time frame there's still another supply, he's like that does make it a strong zone, but it's not something I base off, yeah, this is my key level. I do notice it and like I'll take a mental note, but it's not something I put a lot of emphasis on. I'm more focused on like, all right, this is the key level because it's been an area that has either been rejected in the past or now it's holding as support. That context idea.
Yeah, that I've been doing that as well just recently. So yeah.
only time I take that into consideration is when like a demand or supply zone is also over or on top of yesterday's low or yesterday's high or pre-market high or pre-market low,
Mm.
because those are different zones to the supply and demand zones. So different zones inside one demand zone can mean more confluence and more probability going your way to the downside if you're in a supply zone. You know what I
Okay.
mean?
Yeah, yeah.
And also, I you don't have to do this, but I don't even like if there's two demand zones inside one zone or something like that. I'll just put the one that has the better looking basing candle, and then I'll just ignore the other ones.
Okay.
I don't even do the lines inside the zones anymore.
At the moment, the lines
Same.
inside the
Unless
zone.
it's super far down for me. Like if I have a 4 hour and then like
Oh
at
yeah,
the
yeah,
bottom of the 4 hour there's like a 15, then I'll mark that 15. Just as
yeah.
a
If it's
reminder
big,
for when price is coming down, like, oh, don't be too rushed to enter.
yeah, exactly. If the same, I do the same thing. If it's big, yeah, put another zone in because you have more space to like price to go through and shit.
Right, for sure. Also, I don't know if you've changed your mind on this, Eric, but a while back you told me to stop doing it, but I keep doing it, and I see it kind of matter. The I'll chart like if the night before when I charted and I had like a supply or demand zone, and then the next morning when I do my pre-market chart, it went through it. I'll get rid of the box, but I'll keep the line and I'll make it light gray and I'll type in former resistance, new support, and I've been noticing market reacts. It tends to react towards it in the way I expect it to.
It just depends how far it breaks through it. Like I don't know. That's a tough one. Cause like for example, if you look at the chart here on my the one I just showed for the 13th, it broke yesterday's high. I mean yesterday's low and pre-market high. Oh, Gabriel, you probably can't see it. I'll just share it again.
Yeah, my bad. I got it. I'm looking at it on my screen.
Uh, let's see.
Can you see it?
Yeah.
So after it broke here, like say it was the morning session and overnight this happened, it slightly broke above, then I'll keep it. But if it were to like break up all the way over here, I don't like to just because I don't want to cause confusion to myself, thinking like, oh, it's gonna come back down and reject or whatnot. So that's why I say it's kind of hard. But if it did break slightly, then I'll keep it just to see how because if it breaks slightly, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's not gonna reject again.
No, the one you're pointing out at, yeah, I wouldn't do what I'm saying to that. It's more of like it completely broke through and it no longer is a zone that I can no longer see it as the zone I initially charted it as, but I'll just keep the line and make it gray. And I notice it'll be like it'll work as that new support, so I could use it as like a target or a target if it's close by.
And when you
Yeah, you can
rechart
use
in
that target.
when you rechart in the morning, you don't see any zone there.
No, not really. I mean, I haven't had to. Maybe I have. I got to look at all my charts. Maybe I have, and like I created a zone there. But I'll create the new zone, and then maybe just like I said, I'll keep lines within my boxes just to remind myself of the context there. Because I'm still, to me, I'm sure I'll grow that. But right now, I needed to visualize because I haven't got developed the habit of looking back that well yet. Like when I look back at, oh, has it touched this or what did this mean before?
Yeah, that's too much. That's too confusing for me. I can't have too many boxes like that.
For sure.
I'd rather just keep a mental note and just play out what the morning is telling me. But I mean, if it works for you, then keep doing it. But yeah, I can't do that for my.
I
Yeah,
definitely
say if it
admit
works.
I can tell
I
my
say if
charts
it
are
like
pretty.
okay.
I was just saying I could tell my charts are messy, so I know I eventually want to get rid of that where I could just have a cleaner chart.
Well, I would say if it's working for you, like do it, but as long as you're not using them as like entry levels, I feel like exit levels are fine. Target levels, maybe even stops, but not entry levels. I don't think.
Yeah, definitely not an entry level unless, like Eric said, if I find a zone there as well. And then to me, it's
But
more
yeah,
like it becomes more important. And if I have the gray line there, it's just a reminder. Right now, it's just a reminder for me because I'm still developing how to just see context more often.
I do
The main
the passing thing that Eric does too, but I just do it with wicks. As long as it's not a crazy wick, then I'll keep the box. But I don't like the bodies being over it. But that's just me.
Okay.
oh, that's not even much. So I'm just waiting for 58.39 here. Right. Where'd my window? Oh shit. Oh shit, it's fast. Did you take any trades this day, Gabriel?
No. Oh, Monday? Oh yeah. I took 2 losing trades
Live?
live. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I think I
Where at?
remember you said you're going to demo after that.
Yeah. There we go. want to review these trades.
Damn, this isn't the day of that trade that I took that I told you I lost, but the way the candles broke the 2 hour supply zone, and then eventually after it goes down, it's similar to the trade that I lost, where I didn't know how long it was gonna be. I guess I just timed it wrong because it eventually went in my favor. Like this one, like if I would have took shorts, it eventually goes in your favor. But like I don't know how to time it outside of my zone.
I can't picture what you're saying right now.
So right there at around 7 o'clock, how it breaks the box, it breaks that 2 hour supply.
At 7?
I'm just looking at a screenshot, or just like the 2 hours,
Like around or late 7s.
the 5839 zone that you have. You see how it broke the box for a little, like for one candle, and then it drops.
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah.
I don't know if you have, that's the 5 minute, but I guess it'd be better to bring it up the next chart. But it's like I don't know how to time it when it goes outside the box. And all the trades
Was
that
there an outlier?
I'm sure there was. I didn't take trades this day. I guess we'll discuss it tomorrow. But I mean, on the next day. But it breaks the box and then eventually goes down. And all the winning trades I've noticed that I took, it never breaks the box. So I'm able to kind of like see that a little better. Like if it's
Were you using SPY?
No, I'm also not using. I haven't been charted SPY in a while. I got to get back to that, I guess.
Did you use SPY, Gabriel?
I did, but I went back to NQ because I got confused. But I'm looking at where it broke the box. There was no outlier.
And
on this day?
On this day, yeah.
Yeah, and on Tuesday, when it broke the box, I did go in at the outlier, but it stayed outside the box for a little longer before it went in my favor. But I had lost already at that point. That was Wednesday. No, Thursday. I'll show you so you have a better understanding when we get there.
So right here, outlier started building. 600 lots right now, 800 now. Oh damn, the retest took some time. I just realized that. 900.
I hadn't even broke yesterday's high yet.
500 here. So boom, that's my outlier. It's inside my zone. That's what I was waiting for.
But it's still going to go higher right now.
Carmine said it'll pass it like 4 to 6 points. And then river.
I haven't figured out this setup. When it goes past your outlier, I've only known how to use like a retest of my outlier, but not when it goes past it and then use it as that retest.
What was the entry?
That was pretty cool that me and Carmine took the exact same trade on Tuesday.
Oh, yeah. Dude, my mistake.
What?
I was reviewing my trades, my demo, not my demos, but my past trades, like for the past few weeks. And dude, man, even my wins have been kind of going against the trend. I need to figure out what the trend is before I can make any decisions. That's been my.
I did realize you do that lately.
Yeah, I've been going against it. It's fucking weird. And I'm like biased for some reason, so I need to work on that.
I realize that too. You want to be short biased so bad.
I noticed I'm more comfortable with shorts. It's kind of weird, But yeah, you're right. I am by it was a big problem that I wasn't paying attention to until I did the reviews. And I was like, oh my god, that's a big ass problem I didn't see.
I think it's also because you want that dip so you could buy. So like
Mm,
you kind of anticipating the short to come.
yeah,
And maybe also
yeah.
Aristotle had an influence on it because of how short. I feel like he was short biased too, just that he's able to adjust his view.
It, it probably is because, dude, man, I was having a good few weeks, and then all of a sudden I started watching all these fucking Aristotle's, Danny trades, all these guys, and I started fucking up.
Yeah, I try to, if I do review, like it'll be like once or twice on the videos. I try not to watch them too much because I know that they influence my perspective. Even watching Carmine's videos influence my perspective.
Yeah, I just gotta stick to like his his like just order flow series or something.
Do you take a
Yeah,
short
we
here,
should.
Eric, or do you take a long?
I, it's a short, but I thought it
Like
was
it's
quicker.
I'd say speed it up because it goes above the box for like 30 minutes. It hovers above the
It
box.
was at 58:44. Oh fuck, that was fast.
See, that's going above yesterday's high. Oh no, 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 wait. Your
Yeah,
yesterday's.
it just broke, I think. Oh, that was too fast.
Okay, I have the wrong fucking chart open on my end.
See how it aggressively pushed and then instantly. So boom, our outlier was here 58.40, and then now obviously we'd be waiting for a retest of 58.40 to see if it fails or gets above. And with what Carmine said, giving it that 4 to 6 point wiggle room, that's what I had in mind here. So let me slow it down. So it's coming up to the 58.40 level. But you don't want to just enter just because it hits 58.40. Let it do what it wants to do. So boom, here, okay, it hit 41. Now you're like, what's it want to do? Does it want to hold above or does it want to come back down? It hits 58.44. It's that rule, the 4 to 6 point wiggle room. And if you see it starting to fall down, either you enter as it starts to drop, which could be a early entry because it could hold at 58.40 still, or you just, depending on how aggressive that reject is. It obviously was aggressive buying. You'd think that it would keep pushing if buyers were really interested, but this is where like you got to like put risk on or not, because it could obviously hold 40 and keep pushing up. But with the context of this being a super key supply, buyers failed here already. Buyers tried, they failed again. The selling was pretty aggressive from this. So just I just put the risk on. Wait, did I take the trade?
I like seeing this one right now.
What?
I like the way you explain that right now because I've been dealing with that. It went, like you said, it went past the outlier by a little bit, and I hadn't known how to like visualize that, especially like where do you come up with your stop at that point. But you said, yeah, let it reject a little bit and then like let that high be your stop.
Yeah, exactly. So like say let's go back to it real quick. It's tough when like you're zoomed out a lot because you can't really see how the drop is. Like the way it's rejecting here already is like, okay, this looks pretty good.
Wait, you would enter a short at the top?
Not right at the top.
No, just
No,
that's what I'm saying. Right, right here, boom.
but how do
42.
you but how do you know this is not just a pullback?
You don't. That's why I'm saying like you gotta, based off of the fact that this is a super key supply level. That's why I'm willing to put the risk on. I could be wrong, but I have to accept the fact that I could
Oh,
be trust
it's just
that
it's
my
just willing to do it. Okay.
And then it's
yeah.
kind of like the first sign of rejection at the retest of that outlier. It did go past it, like Eric said a little bit, but then it's like you don't really know when. Like you couldn't that very high tip of the second retest, like you couldn't really enter there because then you don't really have a stop anywhere. But then you realize, well, why isn't it keep going? And it's like that's probably your entry right there.
But
The
you
way
guys aren't. But the thing is, you guys are getting in before it reacts to the outlier.
No, it's already
I know it's
past
in a
it.
supply zone because you don't because aggressive. This is aggressive buying the whole time.
But the outlier was
And
from
this is
earlier.
that
This was my outlier over here.
yeah that's your outlier. How do you, if you're getting in at the top and making the tip top your stop for a short, you're getting in before price even reacts. You don't know what price is going to do with that outlier.
Yeah, but the fact that this is my key supply, it broke yesterday's high and instantly failed to hold above supply. I mean, SPY was also doing the same thing, and I think NQ was also rejecting something. Plus, VX was popping up off of 2 hour demand based off context and the fact that my setup is like it's here. That's where I'm saying like you're either willing to put the risk on and have a 2 point stop, or you just miss the trade.
Okay, I thought you guys were just uh taking like looking at a random outlier that you saw. I didn't know like
No,
all those confluences were there.
yeah, that that was
Okay,
because
that makes
when
sense.
this happened, I was already waiting for the retest. So because it was
Mm.
at my supply, and then I also had in mind that uh that idea of like the market tends to test yesterday's high or low. I'll just share this one. So when the market came, this was the outlier here at this green wick. And then I was waiting for that pullback to test yesterday's higher low to see if it's going to hold above or reject. And seeing how it quickly rejected it, plus SPY was doing the same thing, plus fucking VX was popping up off of demand. And I don't have NQ screenshot, but I'm pretty sure it was rejecting something also. Um, that context and failing at yesterday's higher low was like my key reason as to like, okay, it has a chance of rejecting here.
Yeah, NQ did like reverse right at yesterday's high.
Also, I think this was the first tap of 2 hour supply, so that gives it an even stronger reason of reject.
Confirmation.
Yeah,
Okay.
and sure
Cool,
enough,
cool.
it works out.
Right.
You might even have an. Does it give you another chance? No.
Go back to Bookmap real quick.
Oh shit! I thought I was at 50.
I guess this was a good way also to because I've been confused as to the outlier being a buyer in the supply zone. But yeah, like I said, the way you explained it makes sense. Like there's a buying outlier. You would think if it tested that buying outlier again, it's gonna push, but it's like nope, it keeps rejecting. So even though it's buying outliers in supply zones, and at least in this example, I kind of see how to see that. Where before I would be like, well, it's not a selling outlier, so I'm not even gonna bother.
Well, were there any more buying outliers later on in the supply zone because it rallies past it?
I mean, at that point, I'm assuming the zone was just now weak and it didn't matter anymore. That's how you can't let it retest too much.
No, that's true.
And this was also a 600 lot buyer, so it's like the aggressive buying was struggled basically both times.
Let's go, bro. I'm figuring this shit out. I'm ready to go public.
Okay.
Buy some Eloy stock.
He's gonna be offering copy my trades. I walked away after that. That was my setup.
I'm gonna end this video.